Alright, Wiretalker M here. I'm starting another video, trying not to waste daylight or time. And if you haven't seen the other video, you might want to go back and watch that. And I'm clearing my blackberries. This is all blackberries again. And there's a lot of them, and it's a lot of work. And if you watch the other video, you might find out why I'm even doing this, and why this is recovery after a failure. I'm not giving it to you on this one. You need to go back. But I have found that a brush hook and a hay fork work better than just about anything else that's non-machine, and a rake. And me and the boneheaded dog, which the boneheaded dog's over there and you can't see. If I ever get that way, you'll see him, but right now you can't. And you're perched on top of my Jeep, and I'm on my day off doing stuff that looks a whole lot like what I do when I'm at work. I cut paths through woods, properties, and I dig holes. And I use a lot of math. I'll just leave it at those things. I'm out here trying to recover what was going to be a house site, but I was blessed with blackberries. When they grew on the property, it changed the purpose of the property. The new purpose of this property is to grow blackberries. But I don't want them to take over. I need a path all the way around this. And I need to get a lot of stuff done. Now, one of the problems I've got, and I may figure out a way to bring you along for this. A bunch of tools. And right now they're all tied up together. Pneumatic's in the way. Everything else is in the way. Hey. This was originally bought to mount the iPad, but it's ridiculously long. And sorry for the flip-flop video. I'm trying to hold this with a wrist that doesn't turn. Okay. So, over 2 years ago, I dropped Cedar. And I've got some big cedars down, and I've got little cedars down. And the whole idea was that I was going to build a cabin out here. And I broke my wrist, and it never happened. So, bear with me. I'm going to have you watch me mount the mount that I'm going to use for this video. And I'm not sure where it's going yet, so this should be fun. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. The log that I'm going to cut is right there. And I have a piece of cedar that's no good anymore. It was too small and it's rotted. Okay, this isn't going at all like I planned. Okay, let's try this again. Because you're not even seeing what I'm doing. Okay, something like that. I am mounting, and I don't even know if you can see. This is a cedar, and it's a pretty good cedar. That wrist just doesn't work. This one works pretty good. Let's see if I get it tight enough. It's tight. And we're going to call this, and hopefully you're seeing this because you don't know. If you're not, you're going to understand anything afterwards. But I am permanently wrapping this around this tree for support. So let's try showing you this. Oops, bear with me, I'm going to trip here. Okay. So this thing was cheap and it was too long and I just didn't like it. And now I'm mounting this, wrapped it around there for support. That way it doesn't go doon, back and forth. So, that is that. This expands. And where am I? I'm not a very good video guy today. There we go. Okay, so this expands. This doesn't. And this will allow for me to angle and make video. Now you get to see what you're sitting on back on the Jeep. So I need to know what I'm looking at first because this thing just doesn't do what I want it to do. You gotta look at the video, right? Okay. Now, you are mounted on tree and you're looking in the direction that I'm going to work. I'm going to take this mount back to the vehicle because I don't need it. I can't tell if you're level or if you're good. I'm going to try to figure this out. Bear with me. Okay. I'm not even sure if you can see the bonehead over there across the way, but he's there. He is right over in that area over there. So if you look, you might be able to see a white dog. That hurts as much as a briar. That was off camera, but I did a stupid thing. I was walking and I looked at this thing and it flipped down and caught my pants. That hurts about as bad as a briar. This Jewel is a bow saw. And forestry people have been using these for years to clear stuff. They're a nice tool. I've bought every one I've bought at a yard sale because people have gotten lazy. And I had to stop myself because I've got 3 now. But you got different stuff you got to work on here, so let's. Cedar is a beautiful wood. It's aromatic. It works great for something to burn. Kind of, some people say it's a cleansing property for spirituality. I'm going to try to save as much of it as I can in all forms and fashions and use it as well as I can. Not only am I into Japanese gardening, I'm also into Japanese building, which is the building without nails. And each one of these could be a peg. So I really don't know how far I'm going to get with this progress. This little project that's my life. Everything that's in my existence is here. I try to share my life with other people and bring them into my life, but it's just like nobody else can see my vision and what I'm trying to do, and because of it, my soul hurts. I had a chainsaw. I couldn't use it because I was all busted up, so I sold it. And therefore I now am using a bow saw. Good news is I'm going to try to do some projects with the wood that I save. There are people that actually take rounds, as they call it, of cedar and make pens and pencils and things. I'm not positive, but I believe this may be big enough to turn. So, first things first. Try not to squirt. Let the saw do the work. And try not to get bound up. Okay, a little bit of light pressure off my foot opens that gap. So see there, now it goes in, it goes out. I hope you can see that. I hope I don't have that too far up. And then a push, there we go. Anyway. One good look at this beautiful wood. Pardon me. A little bit of saliva will help. One good look at this beautiful wood. Show you why people use it. It's gorgeous. And it has a good smell. So again, I'm going to save every bit of this I can. I'm on light pressure. A little bit of control. And there's a beautiful piece of wood. Got to be one of my favorite smells. What's this good for? Probably turning a pencil. So I've got to cut this even, but I didn't want to waste. If I could save that, probably won't be anything fancy, but cut it off level in a vise, or cut off square, I guess, in a vise, and then, you know, save that wedge for something. Try to save it, don't waste it. Might have a purpose for it later. Again, the other use would have been a peg, but I want to use some of this wood as projects. So I'm taking this one home. Work on my briars. I don't have a lathe, and if I did, it would be almost overkill to use a lathe on that, but I have carving tools and things, and I'm probably not going to get around to it anytime soon. But on a shelf, being preserved is better than out in the woods. It's going to rot. If you're going to use it, that's better. Pick my battles here. It's hard to get to this, but it's all got to be cut that way. Cut off more than I wanted on that one. In the briar territory, and I need to clear the briars, but I also need to start and this is a little bit wobbly, a little bit loose. Probably could have been on that other one, and I don't have a screw right now, but I can do that one day, and then it will be tight and it'll work good. Not that it works that bad right now. One benefit of your wrist no longer twisting, it makes it really strong to do some motions that are forward and back. have a secret weapon, and I really should get it. Because, yes, I can do this way, but I have another tool. Never mind. I just thought about it, and in my infinite wisdom, I brought a Sawzall, but I left the blades sitting on top of the table at the house. Well, I keep telling you that I've been homeless and I could be homeless again. I'm terrified of the concept of renting off of somebody. And I've been in a relationship with somebody that prefers to rent for a while. And we get into some pretty good discussions. Both saying similar things, but in different ways. And that whole idea terrifies me. That I am wasting my time. And another person's time at the same time. And it really boils down to people don't know when you're trying to do something for them, when it's not selfish. It's my bucket list, but I'm not going to reap the reward. Not for very long. And that's in my brain every day. Okay, one of these will start cutting, right? Ow, ow, ow. I need you to bend back. There you go. Funny how if you knock one out of the way, it opens up the saw. The potential work. Soon I need a sawhorse or sawbuck, and majority of this is not going to be a sawbuck. The majority of this is going to be wood, either for a log, they'll be used as a log, or timbered out, square timbered. And I've bought the stuff to cut my own boards, but I haven't bought the saw yet. And COVID has made it to where you don't know when you're going to be able to buy it. You go in and it's not on the shelf, and they promise it's coming back and it'll be on the shelf soon, but you can't find it. Another thing that's kind of frustrating. So I'm leaving this with the bough of the branches below as a support, because I want that wood that's inside the briar patch, but I don't want to go in the briar patch to get it. And I'm planning on cutting all this back. and that was the goal for today, and it's still the goal for today. But it's not quite there, and it sure does suck getting in them briars as you're trying to cut. I'm cut up pretty bad, but I'm going to get this done. My time. It's my time, my life. Figure out how to use it or waste it, I guess. There needs to be a part of a video where I can kind of do some shout outs for YouTubers that while I was sick and while I was waiting for a job in COVID time, and while I was frustrated, and while I was dreaming, and while I was thinking, there's been, multiple people that's come up on the radar. Each in their own part has inspired me not to quit. But I'm frustrated and I'm really down. And I want to put shout outs out there to different people. Goodness gracious. His last name's Plant. He's got primitive. He's the primitive guy that doesn't talk, for goodness sakes. While I'm at it, I can remember that James Townsend's pretty cool to watch too. Older technologies, older stuff. I'm big on doing things with tools that still work, older tools that are getting forgotten or whatever. So let me go into my YouTube list here and just see if I can find some of these people. Now, just because the guy's always outdoors and he kind of talks and he kind of just shares his thoughts on the world, whether I believe them or not, doesn't matter. And just he's entertaining. Bjorn Andreas Bolhansen. He's pretty cool to watch. David Canterbury. I've watched him for a while. He had some issues here a while back, house burn or whatever. So people need to talk to him. I'm a biker, or at least I was. I sold my bike to pursue my dream. So I like watching Walter Riffick. Anybody that doesn't watch the Red Green Show doesn't have a soul. Recently, I've gotten entertained by a new channel, which is Free Life, and I'm not sure what country she's in, but she's doing survival methods, which are basically how her people's lived forever. So deal with it, watch it. It's pretty cool. It was nice to see her start hauling in things that she's bought because of her success on YouTube. Another one, a lot of people don't watch these people or may not know who they are, but Bruki, I believe is proper pronunciation. Japanese man that has been in his cabin and doing his thing for a long time. I dabble with the stock market. I've been frustrated with a lot of things, stock market being one. I never got a reply, but I still enjoy watching the Humbled Trader. I believe she's in Canada, just like the Red Green Show and some other people I like. Maybe I'm not far enough north. I really don't feel that way. I feel like I should be here. And Watch Your Step. That's a guy over in Georgia, I believe. having trouble finding some of these people, so bear with me. Oh yeah, Surviving Ringworm, that guy's hilarious. I wonder how he gets away with living on his property, especially in Michigan. Seems like they would be a lot more strict up there. I'm in one state that's supposed to be all about freedom. I chose to live here, and the longer I live here, the less freedom I feel. Just because of my struggles with wanting to build on my land and not have a huge house with multiple corners and more space than I'll ever need. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so just because this isn't going the way I want to, let's see, I'm just going to search Homestead. Now I've watched, but I don't know. I'm just not into it as much as maybe I should, but it sometimes has some nuggets in it. So I'll give it a shout out. That's Living Traditions Homestead. There is a couple that's traveled all over and now is in South America somewhere. They pulled their bus in, and they've been dealing with COVID and building their place. If you ever get a chance to see that, you can remember who they are, let me know. I forget. You got some folks up in North Carolina, and Justin Rhodes, of course. Anybody that's been watching stuff knows Justin Rhodes. And the folks up in North Carolina, the Fit Farmer, I believe it is. I'm kind of doing this in a really strange order, and I'm not meaning to forget anybody in particular. And I'm having trouble finding or getting to the people that do a lot of this. But we got some. Let's do sustainable gardening. Let's see if we can get a. Evidently today is about going down the rabbit hole. Came out here to be in nature, and I'm sitting here on my phone. I'm broken. Okay. Rob Greenfield. He's interesting. Self-Sufficient Me. That dude is awesome. If you don't know who that is, you need to watch him. He's from over around New Zealand, I think. He might be at Australia. I really am sorry. I know you're not the same place, but I do get confused over there. Both are tough. That's all I got to say about that. Both continents are tough. Now, I'm going to tell you that living off grid with Jake and Nicole, their videos may be entertaining, but their clickbait pisses me off. If Nicole's going to do a bunch of clickbait pictures for her videos, maybe she should do clips in the videos with her clickbait. Because there's a bunch of guys out there that are going, oh, check this out, but it's clickbait. Don't click it. And guys are human. Come on, they're going to look. And yeah, they're not going to be as impressed if it shows Nicole and Jake's the only one talking. And that's how they're making their money. But just do it normal. You don't need the clickbait. Some some folks out in Arkansas, Roots and Refuge, and there's another lady out in Arkansas. She's got a decent little garden, and I commented on hers, and they replied, which was cool, about railroad ties and creosote, and probably I'd not use that. There's tons more. There's these folks that are overseas somewhere in a tropical or jungle paradise, making hot tubs and all kinds of things. I need to look up the word primitive, because I can give you, I should give you at least 5 YouTubers that do primitive stuff, that if you're and you're finding search terms, aren't you? Because I'm giving them to you. And I'm struggling with whether or not I need to start another channel, or just keep it as Wiretalker M. I guess if they're interested, they'll find me, right? Primitive technology. Mr. Plant. He has a book, and he does all kinds of things, and then somebody kind of snaked off of him and made Primitive Technology, KH, and they're making all these pools and swimmings and houses and things, and just all kinds of things. And yeah, if you want another interesting one, Alone in the Woods. Let's see if Alone in the Wilderness, maybe, I don't know. There's another clickbait. I'm not even going to look at it. Simple Living with the Segovias. They're one of these things where the chick is supposedly naked and turned around the other direction so you can't see, and then probably some dude talking on the other end. I have no idea. I haven't ever clicked it, but clickbait sucks. And there's the same thing with Jake and Nicole as I'm scrolling through here. We're not interested in clickbait. We're trying to survive and do things and learn things. Oh yeah, the Prepper Advantage dude. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. I'm trying to find the guy that is in Texas, but and he is on my he should be on my library or on my subscriptions. And I'm not seeing him. Oh, there's Wild GR. My Self-Reliance, and MBF, Modern Homesteading, Alone in the Wilderness is a video, I think. Okay. Texas, Cactus, and Survival. Goodness, if that doesn't bring up the dude, nothing will. A 3-way search. Well, we got the Junkyard Fox. I almost forgot about him. He's good. But there he is, Bob Hensler. Now, Bob Hensler is a very capable dude, would be my words. Yeah. Okay, so we know the rabbit hole, and we could go down the rabbit hole forever, but the sun is, at a 45-degree angle to the earth, and that means it's around 325, 45-degree, 3 foot, or 3 o'clock, yeah, roughly. If you take the time to observe, you can tell time without a watch usually. And until you do, you can wear a watch and compare it. And I've got this watch for mindfulness and exercise. And thank you, Apple, for doing that. Kind of keeps me motivated, helps me fight off my issues with things. So I'm almost at the end of what I can do. That one there is in the way of being cut. And nothing over there I can cut. And I have briars in the way there. So, the last place that I've got, and I probably have a tape measure, I think, but I'm not real sure. I believe that I have a good grasp on size, and I believe 4 inches is going to be right there, within reason. Now, here's what I'm running into. I'm bound up. Now, I could handle this a couple different ways. One, I could give up, and 2, I could find a way to unbind it. And I really want to go with option 2. And I'm trying to think of the best way to do this with the least amount of disruption to the ecosystem or whatever. May even be use of a tool. Told my boss I had some firewood. He's kind of a firebug. He loves to burn stuff. Trying to remember where I started cutting. There it is. So I believe now change the weight and allow that to stay in place while I cut it. I'm pretty good at sawing stuff. Is to let the tool do the work. A lot of problems with a lot of people is they try to do the work for the tool. And it's clearly about the tool and not about you. I'm applying very little effort. If you learn nothing from me, nothing at all, other than this: work smarter, not harder. Now, that's bad for a blade, just so you know. And that probably isn't good for a blade, but it's a way to work smarter, not harder. Not actually hurting the blade. Okay. Gotta find my knife again. I really need a wedge, but I don't have one. Smarter, right? There. A good pocket knife. I didn't abuse it. I just used it in a different way. A tool's no good unless you can find a couple uses out of it. Now, I have successfully cut the log. I have another thing I wanted to do for a while. And I don't know if I can manage to do it this way or not. Everything at its time. The angle's wrong for this. That's probably the problem. Sometimes a stick or a branch isn't any good for anything other than burning for smell. It smells lovely. I want to show you a beautiful piece of wood here in a minute that is seasoned. Now, tools have a second purpose, right? You got to skin the bark off of the tree. I just did it with a saw. That's two purposes. Right here's where I'm sawing. Now, we already know that will be in the way if I leave it. This goes back down that way because I gotta take wood to the boss someday. Now I can solid that up just by holding that branch. Smarter, not harder. I tell you, I'm kind of wore out because I got sick. They say it wasn't COVID, but I don't know. I felt like somebody beat me half to death. Just the way to explain it. And I'm not a wuss. So if anybody's out there and they've been sick and they didn't have a fever, and they got a bunch of weird symptoms, get checked out by somebody or something, even if you don't believe in COVID. Because sickness is still possible. Don't kid yourself. I'm not wasting this piece of wood, I promise you. It's not firewood. It may be a nice box. You know, I like to smell cedar because I keep smelling it, right? Look at that beautiful wood. That's absolutely beautiful. And it's seasoned. I want to take my tools that I just got and try to practice getting the bark off. And that'll probably be another video, but I have an abundance of beautiful cedar. Even if I don't build a cabin, I need to do something with it, and I thought some projects, wood projects, would be great. And even that long piece there, I could get 1x1 or 2x2 cedar stripping out of that. It's not going to go to waste. I just need to modify my means and ability of getting things done. I have to take a chainsaw, at least get one side flat, to even put it on a table saw and rip it, if that's going to be what I'm going to do. But I've got to get all these briars first. The light's going down, and I'm going to call the video. Yeah, if you want to see what doing things the hard way, I'm going to tell you things are better with two people. If you're alone, if you can get a friend involved, if you make a partnership on necessity, whatever you got to do to survive, that's what you need to do. And I've come to the conclusion that with or without help, and with or without proper alignment with municipalities, I need to make a difference on my land, and I need to make a life for myself. I roughly cleared a 10-foot by 3-foot area of blackberry briars. I have a lot of work to go, and if you want to watch how this is going, I sure could use some encouragement. So thank you for watching. Wiretalker M, out of here.